signs from God. I think there's a lot of people who would like signs from God. We got a story here in the New Old Testament of Ahaz from the book of Isaiah, but God's offering, I'll give you a sign, I'm with you. And Ahaz is saying, well, I don't want to put you to the test, but Ahaz has got another issue going on here with him. He doesn't want God's help. God is telling Ahaz, I will be with you. See, what's going on in Ahaz's life as a king is the kingdom of Judea is being threatened. And there are some people that are ready to attack them in the northern kingdom as well as some other countries. And he's thinking, I got good alliance with Assyria here. They'll come in and take care of this. I don't need God's help. God is saying, I will help you and give you a sign. He doesn't want it. There's a problem with this. Steve, do you see where Ahaz would have an issue of, I don't need God's help?
Well, I think Ahaz is just kind of looking at the lay of the land. He is realizing that, wow, I got to have some help, some support. My kingdom is, as you said, being threatened. We don't know exactly how or why, but he had that sense. And a good king is going to be responsible for his people. And he's looking to have kind of an alliance with this powerful Assyrian empire. And he's saying, okay, I see some benefits of that. I see some good things that will come from that. So I'm going to trust in my vision. I'm the king here. I'm the one, who's responsible. So I'm going to go with what I see and what I know, what I feel is good. And we do that in life, don't we?
Past experience. Because, you were talking before, Steve, about what not only does God give us signs, but we kind of pick up signs in life.
We do.
And I would say, well, what works and what doesn't work. And then I think what I heard from you is you said Ahaz picked up another sign, and the sign is, hey, those Assyrians, they can really come out and whoop things and take care of the business here and the threats that we're undergoing right now. And I'm going with that.
Yeah.
But he's having God talk to him. And God saying, no, none of that. I'm going to take care of you. Hold on. I don't know if Ahaz would have said, hey, okay, show me the chariots. Show me maybe Ahaz had those, but he just kind of felt that here's the answer. I mean, and really what the issue comes down to is what do we put our trust in? And then when I heard you talk about signs, Steve, it was like, oh, here's something you could put your trust in.
We have so many signs out there. I mean, I think for a minute, I spent a career working with young people and training other people to work with young people. And one of the questions where you always ask a young person is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're looking for trying to hear a sign of what they're interested in. Okay, they're going to follow in a parent's footsteps. They're going to go a different direction. They get into high school and they start seeing their skills and abilities. Wow, you sing well. Have you thought about a career in the performing arts? You draw well. You write well. You're a good athlete. Maybe you could be a professional athlete. Even if not, you could coach and support other people in that. And we're looking for signs all the way through, especially when people are young. But I think it also happens when they get to our age. We're still looking for signs every day. When you are midlife, you're stuck in a career, you're in a job, you're looking for the sign like, is there a better job out there? I hope so.
Well, right. And let's just even take it from, I'm a pastor. Steve's retired and, as an educator. And when we're trying to deal with stuff at church, should we go this way, this way, this way? God give us a sign. Well, he doesn't, or we use what we know to go the best way we can. And I think there's a lot of people who want those signs, but I think that it's like if you have something that really you believe is going to work in your life, like Ahaz does, he believes this will make it happen. We can put God on the back burner and put our trust in those things outside of ourselves ahead of God. And that's what's going on here. And what Ahaz is doing is saying to God, I don't want to put you to the test. Don't give me a sign. What does he say about the sign? He says, here, this is it, right. Ask for a sign of the Lord your God, and let it be deep as soul and as high as the heavens. So deep as soul is going all the way down into the depths of the earth and high as the heavens. He says, just ask me for that, and I'm going to do it. no, I don't want to bother you. But see, what's going on here all along? He has one hand behind his back, which is Assyria, who's going to come through. And so he's messing with God, but God's catching on to him. He is not catching on. He knows what's going on with him.
And Ahaz has a high trust in himself. I'm thinking, we're in the Christmas season. What are signs that you and I are looking at that we're going to have a good Christmas? I mean, everybody wants to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So we decorate the house. We get the tree up. We bake goods. We even had our grandkids over to bake cookies. And that was a sign that we're good grandparents. We're inviting them over. They're
Did they make a mess all over the
Oh,
floor?
they did, and it was wonderful.
That was good?
That was.
He
It was.
cleaned it up.
I cleaned it up. Yeah, we did. And that was just a little sign. Here in our community of Sonora, we have a downtown parade. Did you go to the parade? That's a sign that you have the Christmas spirit. Do you have all your shopping done? Sign after sign after sign after sign. Just in this season alone of Christmas that people are looking for. So there are signs everywhere in your life. The question is are you paying attention to them? And is it a sign that you are reading, or is it a sign from God?
Well, yeah. And how much is God in tune with us? And the real issue, I think what we're seeing here, Steve, is that the bottom line of what Ahaz is going is, where do you ultimately put your trust in life? And Ahaz is answering the question in this instance, I put my trust in power. There was no firepower back in those days, but there were swords. They had invented the chariot, which you could move really quick to go let someone have it. And there was swords and there was armor to do battle, and they knew that was power. Well, and like today, we talk about Chairman Mao, who said power for human beings comes down from the power of none. We want strength and power to make things work. And that's where Ahaz found his hope, in Assyria. Yeah. And God is saying, don't mess with me. Are you going to, he says, you're going to, the translation, oh, house of David, is too weary for you to, you're going to weary men, you're going to weary God. I'm getting real tired of this malarkey here Ahaz about, oh, don't bother yourself, I won't put you to the trust. Knock it off. I see right through that. You don't want to put your trust in me. You want to put your trust in Assyria. And then I think we go into another trust, where God is going to shift from that sign to another sign.
And he does a complete opposite, illustration from this trust of power and powerful armies and a great nation to a baby. Put your trust in this child. Is there anything more vulnerable in our living world than a child? We teach those children to trust us, to trust their adult caregivers. And, God is just turning it around saying, trust this child because I have plans for this child. This plan is to be your Savior. And that's where our trust can be. It's in Jesus, who is the real reason for the season as we think about Christmas.
Yeah, and I would say that the issue comes down to, why Jesus? Why don't we just stop with Ahaz? Okay, everybody gets it. Ahaz, you're really messing up here. You got God who's going to protect you. And Ahaz saying, well, yeah, I'm going to trust in God, but I really want to put my trust in the Assyrian alliance that I can do. And that every human being has the same issues. We grab hold of what God gives us and put our trust in those things. The baby changes everything. I'm going to throw you the ball then. Okay. How does the baby change everything with the trust issues that we have in life?
Well, I think the one thing that people are looking for in this season, even in life, is peace. I mean, even the name that we give Jesus is the Prince of Peace. I mean, we live in a chaotic world. Everything is just coming at us on our screens, on our TVs, and there's just so much confusion out there, and people just sometimes want to turn it off. And we hear about taking a break, taking a screen Sabbath, which is a good idea, by the way.
But I like my screen.
We all like our screens, But what we have, here in this baby is peace. And he settles everything down. It takes him 33 years to get to that. And sometimes that journey along the way isn't real peaceful for Jesus and for his followers. And it's not always easy to follow this Prince of Peace. But in the end, that is the gift that we get in the child of the manger.
Yeah, and I would go back here. It says in the verse 14 of Isaiah chapter 7, it says, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign, another sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and we shall call him Emmanuel." The fact that God is saying, look, I want to be with you. I want you to be my dear child. It's not going to be, do you measure up and do you trust me enough? No. If you foul up in your life like King Ahaz did, like we all do, Emmanuel will not leave us. God will be with us. Lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age, was what Jesus said. That the whole issue of us trying to measure up to the standards of God is over. We can't do it. Look at the sign. The sign is Jesus did it for us, and our hope is in him. Now, this doesn't mean that, okay, well, that's nice. I'm going to go about my life anyway. I think, you mentioned it, peace. Where the heck are you going to get some peace in your life? Because if you put your trust in this world, there's going to be constant demand. There's going to be threats out there, fear of threats, and there's no peace. He says, put your trust in that baby. I'm going to challenge anybody out there. Look, is this true? That the key to understanding how we got here on the planet Earth and why we were born is in Jesus Christ. And I'll go ahead, we'll argue the case. If not, I think you got one of the biggest frauds in human history going on here. Okay? But Isaiah has said it. I will give you a sign. And not a conspiracy theory, but a sign. That there was a baby born in Bethlehem. And dealing with who was that baby did God really visit the planet Earth? But the key of life comes together there. And it has to do with where we put our trust. Put our trust in ourselves. We say we believe in God. We're going to be good, sincere people. We're going to do the right things. Or, okay, we're going to mess up, but there's a sliding scale on messing up. Well, the world standards, no, none of that. Our trust is in this baby who got it all done for us. And then there's that peace. From that, you bring up peace, and I'm thinking clarity. That's our peace on earth, mercy mild. A little low on the voice here, but that God will give you a sense of peace as we put our trust in something greater than ourselves and greater than anything in the world.
One of the blessings, Pastor Tom, that we have at this church and many other churches out there, when we say peace, we say it's the peace that passes all understanding. And it keeps our hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And we're not here to say we understand how that peace works. We're not here to say, oh yeah, you do this and that and that. Those are signs of peace. That's for you to find in your walk with Christ, in your walk with God. He will lead you to that peace. You will find that peace in Jesus. And because he wants that peace for you, for me, for everybody. And that's why Jesus came. Give us that peace that passes all our understanding. And what does it do? It keeps our hearts and our minds focused on him. We're not scattered looking for other signs, because that's easy to do. There's a lot of distractions out there, other signs. But he says, keep our hearts and mind on Christ Jesus.
Yeah, that everything's been accomplished for us in life. And I think, you can look at other places. A classic we go to is cash. Hit the Powerball numbers. Hey, man, you like the beach? Hey, the beach is there. Find some peace. You like good food. Okay, well, have any food you want. Our relationships, have a fantasy, a dream about your dream spouse or whatever.
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football?
Yeah.
I get that, you pick out your best guy.
and those other distractions, sports and activities and things like that. And even bowling.
And we're not even, bowling, all these things of life, whether it's work, whatever we do, does not go away. And we need to deal with those. But the question of life is, for us, is where do we put our ultimate trust? And I think the sign that we're hearing here is don't put it in yourself. Put it in this baby who's got you covered. Learn to let go of those things you put your trust in. Find some peace. I like that peace. Find some peace by letting go and trusting in God. And above all, know this, that your righteousness is covered in that baby. And that God is saying he's Emmanuel, which means God with us. He will never leave you or forsake you. He will walk through your life with this journey and not leave you with the tyranny of having to put your trust in armies, relationships, wherever they may be, and give you that sense of peace. And watch him bless you. Hey, thanks for being with us. We hope you have a great Christmas and God's blessings be with you all the time. And thanks for listening in with Steve and I.